Paige, welcome back to my channel. So a little while ago, I did a video listing all of the things that I'm gonna miss about living in London once I move back to the US. And a few of you all requested in the comments that I make a video talking about the things that I won't miss about living in London. Now y'all, I want to give a disclaimer before I even begin. This video is all in good fun. I have honestly loved my time here in London so much. I say it all the time. You all know that this has been just the experience of a lifetime. Everything that I love about living in this city will always outweigh any of the negatives, any of the things that I might not like as much. I love London. But of course, no matter where you live, there's probably gonna be a few things that you wish could be different or things that you would change. So even though this city will always have my heart, here are a few things that I won't miss about living in London. Okay, y'all, these are not in any particular order, okay? But first, let's start off with how early it gets dark in the winter. Y'all, here in the winter, it can get dark as early as like 3:15, 3:30 p.m. If you don't have a chance to get an early start on your day, it can sometimes feel like you just missed a day. Obviously, the sun and vitamin D is so good for us, so the winters here can end up being kind of depressing. But at the same time, the days end up being really, really long here in the summer, and the sun sets at like almost 9:30 p.m., which is amazing. But yeah, the winters, ain't it? Next, I would have to say that I will not miss the fact that there is no air conditioning in the homes here. This summer 2023, has actually not been a super hot one at all so far. But out of the 5 summers that I have spent here in London, we have had quite a few heat waves, okay? And they have been unbearable. Sometimes fans just do not cut it. Just swirling around hot air, not doing anything. If you want to enjoy air conditioning in the summer, you're gonna have to like go in a store or business or something, because it's probably the only place you're gonna get it. And some of the train lines, some of the tube lines do have air conditioning, but yeah, it's not typical for homes here to have AC, and living here without it during a summer heat wave was never nice. Next, and if I was putting these in order, this would probably be number 1. Is being so far away from my family. Living abroad has been such a wonderful experience. I feel like I've gained so much independence. I've grown so much as a person. I've learned so much about myself, but I always struggle with being so far away from my family. Missing family events, missing the holidays, knowing that my parents are getting older, and then with my mom having a health scare at the end of last year, it was just starting to become more and more challenging for me to be so far away. Family is honestly everything to me, and I'm really looking forward to being closer to them again and being able to see them every day. And even if I do end up settling in another city outside of Chicago, you know, in another state, being back stateside will just make it so much easier to get to them when I need to. The next thing that I won't miss is the lack of superstores. Now, this is definitely an American thing, and I feel like just because I grew up in the States, it's just something that I'm used to and that I enjoy. So coming here and not really having the same access to superstores was like, obviously not that big of a deal, but still. Whenever I say this, people are always like, oh, well, there's a Costco here. I've never seen it. I don't know how far out Costco is, but I have never seen the Costco in the UK. And that's not even really the store that I'm referring to. I miss Walmart. I miss Target. Asda here in the UK ended up becoming like my go-to grocery store because it did remind me the most of like a Walmart, because I believe they were owned by Walmart at one point. So yeah, it kind of gave me that feel a little bit, but it just still wasn't the same. So I would always love visiting home and going to Walmart and going to Target. They also have no Trader Joe's here, which I know isn't really like a superstore, but still. And while I'm at it, like I miss Ulta, like I just miss some of the stores, I guess, that are in the States. So I guess I just won't miss not having access to them here. The next thing that I won't miss about living in London is not having access to certain like news articles and certain shows that I want to watch. So I couldn't even really explain it to you or break it down to you why it's like this, but there have been so many times that I wanted to read like a news article from Chicago or from the US in general, and when I clicked it, it said like European regulations or whatever regulations aren't gonna allow me to read that article in this country. I've never really bothered to look into it to find out why. I would just have somebody from home take a screenshot and send it to me. But yeah, your girl was just trying to keep up with the local Chicago news while I was out here, but it would be really hard. And then as far as shows, I guess I'm referring to like Netflix. Sometimes US Netflix will have movies and shows that UK Netflix doesn't have, and I guess that's just like licensing stuff. I don't really know. For example, the US Netflix just put one of my favorite shows of all time, Insecure. They have all 5 seasons on Netflix now, but of course, it's not available here in the UK. So yeah, I'm looking forward to binging Insecure again when I get back home. The next thing that I won't miss is the different time zone. So obviously this only has really affected me when I'm trying to contact friends or family back in the States. Like sometimes it'll be, you know, the morning here and something will happen and I really want to call my mom and tell her, but it's like 3-4 o'clock in the morning in Chicago, so like that would be a bit rude. Or my friends want to call me and catch up with me when they get off work, but I'm already asleep. I honestly had to put my phone on do not disturb at night when I moved to London because my friends would just not respect the time difference, okay? They were calling me at like 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm just like, come on. And then of course when I would go home and visit the States, I would have like really bad jet lag. I'll never forget when I visited my best friend Amber in LA. Y'all, I was falling asleep at like 8 p.m. I just could not stay awake. I was so tired. And then if I go and visit the States and I stay longer than like a week, when I got back here, my sleep pattern was just always so thrown off and it would take weeks sometimes for me to get back on track. I will just be laying in bed, unable to fall asleep, and it's honestly awful. I feel like a lot of people are probably expecting me to say that I won't miss the weather and the rain, all of that. But honestly, it didn't bother me that much. Like the weather really didn't bother me that much. And yes, it rains often, but I feel like it's not that bad. I don't know if that's just me. Even though it has rained a little bit too much this summer. Like, can we get some sun? But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna add that to this list. People are also probably expecting me to say that I won't miss the food. Another thing that I just don't feel like is that bad here. Yeah, there's a lot of food in the States that I do miss and a lot of like fast food places that I enjoy in the States that aren't here. But the food here is not terrible. I think it really just depends on what you're eating. I'm not really a fan of super like traditional British food. You know, it lacks a little bit of something, you know, flavor, maybe seasonings for me. But I feel like there's so many other cuisines here. Like London is such like a melting pot with like so many different types of ethnicities and cultures, and that means a lot of different food. Like I've actually been way more adventurous here than I was at home, because I can be a bit of a picky eater. I'm not a huge foodie, but I tried Nigerian food for the first time here. I tried Sri Lankan food for the first time here. I tried Indian food for the first time here. There's so many different options, you know what I mean? So yeah. Anyways, we're supposed to be talking about the things that I won't miss, so let's get back to that. Okay, y'all, so I think I'll just do one more. The last thing that I will not miss about living in London is having to fight to stay here. Y'all, my fellow expats, my fellow Americans who have moved abroad, I'm sure you feel me on this one, but always trying to secure a visa, always trying to secure more time in the country you're living in, like it can become so exhausting. And I just don't have it in me anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. A lot of people have asked me like, why didn't I try to get permanent residency here? And that was because I couldn't, like I didn't qualify. If you're here for 5 consecutive years, you're able to apply for, you know, like leave to remain, which basically allows you to live in the UK, you know, as a resident. You won't have to deal with the visa issues and stuff like that anymore. And that would have definitely been nice, but I was honestly nowhere close to hitting my 5 years. As you all know, I've lived in London for 4.5 years, so I was close to being here for 5 years. But unfortunately, my first year here as a student did not count towards those 5 years. I believe it only counts if you're studying for like a PhD. So my year that I was here studying for a master's degree did not count towards the 5 years. So I really only have 3.5 years going towards that 5. And with my visa expiring at the end of this month, I would have had to try and find another visa route, because my visa that I'm on is like non-renewable visa. I was actually lucky enough to be able to get a COVID extension because I was supposed to be gone a year ago. But yeah, I was able to get an extra year. I'm done chasing the visas for now. I am very happy for the people who are moving abroad over here as students now, because they seem to be making it a lot easier for people to stay if they want to after they finish their studies. So basically, when I completed my master's degree, I only had 4 months to figure out what I was going to be doing next, right? But I believe it was September 2020 where they finally changed it. And after you complete your studies, you're able to stay in the country for 2 additional years. It's called a graduate visa, and it allows you to live and work in London. You can be an entrepreneur. Like I said, you can work, you can apply for jobs. And usually one of the biggest challenges with securing a job here as an American was trying to get sponsored by a company, because they had to pay a big fee because you weren't a British resident and all of that. But this graduate visa kind of cancels out that problem, because you don't need to be sponsored and you're able to work legally in the country. And I think I did hear recently that they have now extended it to 3 years, which is just amazing. And I'm like, why was this not available for me? Like, I really had to work my butt off to get the UK startup visa. But like I said, super happy for everyone who is coming in now. I honestly hope it brings even more people over here to London to, you know, live and study. It's just an amazing experience, and I want everybody to experience it. But yeah, y'all, it's tough, and it is definitely a fight to stay here. And I'm not gonna really miss that. I'm not. I'm looking forward to going back to the States and settling somewhere and knowing that I could stay there for 10 years if I feel like it. I'm just really looking forward to more stability. But yeah, guys, I think that's it. Once again, this video was just in good fun. I am gonna miss living here in London more than you all can probably understand. This has been such an impactful chapter in my life, 4.5 years of my life, and I honestly don't think I will be the person that I am today without having had this experience. So I'm just eternally grateful and just so happy that I was able to do this, that I was able to make this dream come true and just finally get on this path of creating a life of my dreams. I'm just so thankful. So yeah, as always, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.